What's up, everybody? Sean D Man here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great week so far. We are here to talk about the newest episode of Daredevil Born Again, and we are going to be jumping right into it because this episode it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Which I think, let me see, give me 1 second though. This was episode 6, which it had the feeling, well, not really a feeling of an ending, but overall, I thought this was, after coming off episode 5, where I felt like that was the closest that they got back to the Netflix style of Daredevil. Now, yes, both are very drastically different. Both are produced differently. Some people say it's not fair to compare one to the other. But when you have such a perfect, well, almost perfect thing that is the Netflix Daredevil, anything that comes after it is just going to be, you know, just not up to par with that. So this episode, we finally, even though she wasn't in there a lot, I'm assuming we'll see her again the rest of the season with the next 3 episodes. I think there's 9 episodes total of Daredevil Born Again. We got Jessica Jones. The episode opens up. I believe it was Jessica Jones. I think we saw rumors or like a tweet or something like a couple of weeks ago before this episode aired that she would have a daughter. And yeah, the episode opens up with a child just having fun playing, and a group of armed mercenaries pull up to this house, and quickly we see like the adult figure go out and just start handling business. Meanwhile, I think like a flash grenade or a grenade of some sort got thrown in the house. You have the little kid just playing with it. And then we get Jessica Jones coming in and being like, this is not a toy and everything like that. Which is great to see her again. I love Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones. I like the Jessica Jones series. I wasn't sure when it first aired on Netflix if I was going to really enjoy it, but lo and behold, I really enjoy that series. So there isn't a lot of, the most interesting thing about this episode is Fisk. Well, there's more. It's just more than that. But like, Fisk rarely talks in this episode. I think he talks to Heather at the funeral, and then he talks with Matt at the end of the episode. But that's basically it. He doesn't really talk that much. Now, obviously, he's in a grieving kind of mindset. Vanessa has died, and he kills the poor doctor that tried to comfort him. Just broke his back, and oh my, and like, good lord. And so I will probably say Karen in this episode came off as just, I don't want to say bloodlust, but she makes valid points. Yes, but again, like, Matt is right. Vengeance isn't justice, and we hear like how she talks about how she basically blames Matt for not either Matt not killing Fisk or not letting Bullseye kill Fisk, because she's already kind of frustrated and angry at Bullseye anyway for killing Foggy, and she goes off at Matt because you and Fisk, like, you both, like, it's not going to end until one of you is down for good. And like, because we get a scene where Karen looks like she's about to pull the trigger on Bullseye, but Matt comes in obviously and stops her, and she is just venting away at Matt and just talking about how, like, let her do it so Matt's conscience will be clean. and he doesn't have to carry that burden because she talks about how she still has nightmares of 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 her killing Wesley. Um, and then talk about Foggy, everything, just everything that's happened because basically because but the way she puts it, it's all this is happening because Matt refused to put an end to Fisk once and for all. Everything that's happening to the city, all the people that had been getting arrested by the task force, all of it is the way Karen is putting it, even though she's not really saying it, is Matt's fault. And so, but Matt's he's staying consistent. If we take out Fisk, there's no differentiating between us and them anymore. That line is crossed because once you cross that line, that's it. You can't go back over. You can't go over. You can't just. It's over. It's done. Like taking out Fisk makes you what Fisk is, and that's just a murderer, a guy who just goes around killing people. Even though you can disagree and you can be angry how Fisk has basically destroyed your lives over the years. Um, so, um, and then we get a shot of Matt and Jessica overlooking the warehouse where Fisk has moved the guns to, and Charles even gives a call to Fisk and just be like, "Hey, I see you move like you moved my guns and everything like that." Like Fisk is he's not joking around or anything like that. Um, and obviously, just Jessica's just kind of like Matt apologizes to her because it wasn't supposed to like they were. I guess he thought they would be safe outside of the task force jurisdiction, but that doesn't seem the case because it looks like Jessica doing her own investigation came across Charles, and Charles has an interest in people like Matt and Jessica. And I feel like we kind of get an indication because Jessica talks about how um, she turned them down, turned Charles down, but not everybody did. So it sounds like Luke probably didn't. At least that's what it sounds like. Um, and so they, I love, I love Charlie Cox and Kristen Ritter together as their characters because they go into the warehouse and they just start causing chaos all over the place. They are just whipping the task force guys. The most interesting thing, I wish here, let me pull it back up real quick because there's something interesting. While I pull this up, another side note. So the guy that Karen beat up and took his they used his badge and his outfit and everything to get into the warehouse the first time and everything. Suspicious of him. There's something I want to see real quick because there is a moment because for some reason, let me see. Jessica goes and she punches Powell, but that seemed to hurt her. At least she felt that obviously, but it didn't seem to phase Powell that much. I'm curious about him now. Like, is there something about him? Like, I don't know if he's a comic book character or what. I don't really know, but I was very curious about that. That was definitely interesting. Um, Meanwhile, you have Charles going to visit the governor. Um, because obviously she's starting to feel the pressure from all sides because now that Vanessa is gone, because Vanessa was going to be the one to keep Fisk in check, but now that she's gone, it's going to be trouble. There's nobody to keep the kingpin in check, and so we come to find out from Buck that she pulled she pulled out. She's out of it now. Charles went to go visit her, which Charles seems to be the bigger fish of the two. So there's obviously that going on. You have BB and Daniel going on because at the funeral, um, BB talks about how she wants to, she found out when Daniel's birthday was. She wants to do something with him, and they end up going to his mother's place in Staten Island. Buck tries to make Daniel put BB to the test by like feeding her fake information and see if it pops up. If it does, then she's the leak. But if it doesn't, then you got nothing to worry about. And like BB and Buck's like, I know you're very fond of her, but I think that's clouding your judgment and everything. You need to think clearly. And Daniel is just still kind of like, I trust her. I don't, and everything. So he does. He tells her that Fisk is not running for re-election or anything like that. No, nothing like that. And we see at Daniel mom's house, BB goes to the bathroom, and we do get Ellison. Ellison is still here, so I'm glad. I really liked him in the Daredevil series. I wish we would see him again, but she gets ready to send the message to him, but she stops, gets like looking around Daniel's room and everything. From when he was a kid, she kind of like deletes the message. Meanwhile, we see Daniel like while BB is going upstairs to the bathroom, Daniel takes a look over her coat. And my thing about this is, because we hear from Karen earlier in the episode where she talks about how her sources basically say Christoph is missing. And her that testimony hasn't that hasn't gone out either. So there's a good chance that both those things are dead. So I don't know why. I guess no, there would have been there should have been ample opportunity for BB to not. BB kept the memory card in her coat pocket. She should have had ample opportunity to go drop it off at her apartment or something. I don't know. The only reason it is there is just for the plot. And it seems kind of stupid that you have this kind of information on this memory chip, and you're still holding on to it. You had plenty of time from the fight in episode 4, or not episode 4. Yeah. The fight in episode 4, going through everything in the hospital episode in episode 5 last week, and then this. I feel like you had ample opportunity to go drop it off, and you didn't. And so again, the only reason it's there is because of the plot. That's the only reason. Later that night, some people are doing a vigil for Vanessa, but a group of protesters show up. Fisk is responsible. Don't mourn Vanessa Fisk. She's part of the reason why a lot of our neighbors and family members were locked up and everything like that. And it is getting a little rowdy out there. Because with BB and Daniel, we see that the news is coming on, and they see how the crowd is getting bigger and aggressive. Karen, Angela, and her friend, they set up a projector to project all the testimonies that they recorded. All that is being aired on the side of the building where everybody's seeing it, and Fisk quietly exit. Powell goes and kills Sanders. I believe that was his name. Powell goes and kills him, and tries to make it like, oh, they did it. Push them back and everything, and they just start pushing people back, start hitting people. Um, I need to see something real quick again. Sorry, there was a moment. Let me see, because I think did somebody go and um. There is a moment because while the chaos is going on, Karen loses her disguise, and I'm trying to see did somebody like snatch it off of her or what? Real quick, because I don't really remember. It's another thing I don't remember. Yeah. No, I think it. I mean, I think it just gets knocked off. I think it just gets knocked off. But Karen is going to help the Angela's friend, but I think he got hit in the back of the head, and so he's either he's dead or he's not going to make it. But the basically the latter portion of this episode is Fisk and Matt confronting each other, um, and Matt Matt talks about how like we basically him and Fisk have poisoned the city. They have over the years of fighting, everything they've been through together, the people that they love have been hurt. Foggy, Vanessa, and Matt talks about how what if we both, what if you left New York and I left New York and everything, and Fisk is just kind of like there's basically no going back. Um, and they proceed to fight, and it is a brutal fight, just somewhat like kind of what we've seen in the Netflix versions of the series of when these two fought each other. Matt doesn't seem to want to fight Fisk because he is dodging a lot of Fisk attack and everything. But at a certain point, Fisk he just like, then let's do this, and they just go at each other, um and Fisk is just kind of like, what are you gonna do? Arrest me? You can't. Kill me? You won't. Um, and so the episode basically ends with with Fisk getting like just coming up, getting ready to attack Matt and everything, and the fight continuing there. So, and well, I mean that's basically it for the episode. I thought it was a pretty actually a pretty good episode. There was nothing about it I felt like that was like stupid. About the Karen stuff, I didn't like as much, but I mean, obviously I can understand where she's coming from. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode. Episodes 5 and 6 have been relatively good episodes, at least to me. Now we'll see how other people think about it going forward. But guys, that is basically it. If you are new to the channel, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure you comment below. Tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Tell me what you guys thought about the series as a whole. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. You can also find me on the gaming channel down in the description below. You can also find me on Kick, Twitch, and Rumble, the Nerd Talk, Spotify, on podcasts. All that you can find down in the description. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.